Albert Bierstadt's painting, entitled Looking Up at Yosemite Valley, is one of the best examples of Romantic art that we'll talk about. Notice a couple things about the painting. First of all, the artist did everything he could to emphasize human insignificance in the light of nature's grandeur. If you remember, the Age of Reason believed very strongly that one day man would control nature. And if you think back to the exhumation of the mastodon, where an entire machine dominated the painting, you see the difference between that painting and this painting. In this painting, Looking Up at Yosemite Valley, the people are very, very small. As you can see on the left, there's a group riding horses that trail off into the distance. And in the center, in the foreground, is Albert Bierstadt himself, who's gotten off his horse to paint this valley. Bierstadt accomplishes this insignificance of humans by including the mountains in the picture. The mountains give a reason for the scale to be as tall as it is, making the humans only fractions of an inch tall compared to the couple feet that the canvas has of the mountains in the background. And so this message, nature, which is completely untamed here. In fact, Albert Bierstadt was one of the first Americans to visit Yosemite Valley, which later became Yosemite Park. This is 1865, and so it's the American West, a West that obviously accepting the thousands and thousands of years that native people were here. These were the first European travelers to even set foot on this land. And so we have this sense that America is far from being conquered, far from being tamed. It was a message to the Age of Reason writers to confront the Age of Reason writers for their hubris in believing that man and technology and science could control nature one day. The second thing we have in this painting is the mist that you can see between the two mountains. The valley in the middle emphasizes the unknown, and the visual lines of the painting, both because of the path of the riders on the horse, and also the V that's made by the mountains, and also the way the light is, draws your attention to the back. And so as much as this painting is about what we can see, it's also about the vastness of the unknown, and the mistiness explains that nature is not only vast, but also virtually unconquerable. The third thing that we see is that the Romantic painters were very interested in evoking emotion in their audience. In fact, primarily the Romantics thought to engage the heart instead of the head. And so this is a painting you can tell Bierstadt used all the tricks, from the sun and the waterfall and the reflecting lake and the mist and the tall trees and the mountains, the blue sky and the fluffy white clouds. He wanted to really capture not just the beauty of the American West, but he wanted to inspire the audience, kind of capture the feeling of awe and wonder. In fact, Bierstadt was part of a school of painters known as the Hudson River School Painters, but later he became also part of a group, well, not really, these weren't formal groups, but he became a part of a group known as the Rocky Mountain Group of Painters, because over and over he painted these mountains and this kind of landscape. So a lot of good stuff for a Romantic in here, and a good example of the period of literature that now we're discussing.